What is a customs declaration? We'll zip off to the EU and the official website of the European Union to find out. We're on the Taxation and Customs Union section of the European Union website. And customs declarations for traders, what are these? In brief, a customs declaration is an official document, in electronic or paper format, that lists and gives details of goods that are being imported or exported. A full customs declaration is a lengthy document, usually accompanied by an upfront payment in full, of all customs debt, duty, VAT, etc. However, if you are authorized, you can use one of a variety of simplified procedures. For example, you can split your declaration into two parts. The first part is a short declaration, a brief description really. The second part consists of a more lengthy declaration, and is used to calculate your charges and also for statistical purposes. It is usually submitted, not more than a month after the first declaration. We'll look more closely into this, in a later video. But why do we need to make customs declarations in the first place? Whether for imports or exports, customs declarations inform customs, as to what you are moving, from where, and to where, and in general terms, why the movement is taking place. Customs procedure codes, that you specify in your declaration, indicate the why, or in other words, what will happen to your goods, at the end of their journey. Duty, VAT, or other measures and restrictions, can then be applied, as per the various regulations, extracted from trade agreements, or as set out in World Trade Organization rules, as appropriate for the countries and trading areas concerned in your goods movement. Although some goods movements may not be required for national trade statistics, most are. In the latter case, the information is gleaned from the appropriate parts of the customs declarations, and transferred for use in the national trade statistics, for the countries and trading areas concerned. What is the importance of overseas trade statistics? For any particular nation, overseas trade statistics provide important information about trade with other countries. They can be aggregated to provide similar information for trading areas. As such, they are economic indicators, used by governments, industry and commerce. To ensure accuracy of trade statistics, typically, export processes are validated, and traders also are obliged to take care when making declarations. Who should lodge a customs declaration? The owner of the goods, or a representative /handler, who has control over the goods. It's a good idea to ensure that both you and your customs handler have your own EORI numbers. EORI is discussed in an earlier video. If you are established in the EU, usually your customs handlers should also be established in the EU. After Brexit, UK businesses may hire agents, who are also established in the UK. If you need to, you can contact your customs office to discuss any exceptional circumstances. Where should a customs declaration be lodged? Often this is done at the customs office where the goods are presented. However, if we scroll down a bit, we see something called Centralized Clearance Authorization. What is that? Well, a customs declaration may be lodged at the customs office in the EU member state, where your customs handler, agent or broker, is established. This is irrespective of the fact that the goods are presented to customs in another EU member state, here referred to as the PMS, participating member state, also called the Office of Presentation. For such purposes, the trader or economic operator, that could be you, has to be granted something called the Centralized Clearance Authorization. You might come across such terms in customs websites, including HMRC, after Brexit. Are there other related terms one might see? Okay, quickly. You might see terms such as indirect export and direct export. Not to be confused with indirect and direct agents. As far as the EU customs territory is concerned, an indirect export is where a customs declaration is made in one member state, but where the goods are presented and leave the EU via another member state. The office where the goods are declared for export is called the Customs Office of Export. The office where the goods actually leave the EU is called the Customs Office of Exit. On the other hand, direct exports. Direct exports are where the declaration, presentation and exit all happen in the same member state. In this case, the customs office where the declaration is made, where goods are presented, can be both an office of export and an office of exit. For imported goods, you might see the term, the Office of First Entry, or OFE. This is the first air or sea port where goods, bound for the EU, arrive. Presenting goods to customs has particular meaning. And we look at this, as well as the role of the OFE, next.